peace, progress, and prosperity. Always remember, you are not alone.
Now, going on to treatment and recovery. I feel like a wholesome form of treatment should address the underlying cause of the problem, the underlying cause of the addiction, and the addiction itself. So what triggers you to go and abuse that substance? And how can you be run away from that substance? Those are the two things that, I feel like should be implemented in treating whoever is addicted or, on the part of treatment and recovery. But a lot of the time, what happens is the system or whoever is trying to help you, or even if it's just you trying to help yourself, just kind of yanks you away from your substance. But that doesn't work most of the time. That's what causes relapse. Like taking the play dough away from the child and not finding out what is attracting that child to the play dough. The child kind of wants to go back. But if you take the attraction away, if you take what attracts that child to the play dough, if you take it away, that helps the child reduce the want or the attraction or the need to go for that play dough. So basically, we need to treat the cause, the underlying cause or the trigger for the addiction. And you also need to address the substance, like take the patient away, let me not use the word patient, but take the individual away from the substance simultaneously. That way, there's a holistic form of treatment and recovery from that substance. Also, therapy, counseling, support group, and medication can play a very important role in recovery. You need to seek therapy if you feel like you can't do, you need to get away from this, but then it's not easy. Therapy can help you. You need to find people who are also trying to recover, and then, or people who have recovered, and then find a way to let them help you. How did they get out of it? It's also very important. Medication is very important. The process of taking care of your mind can help you recover from addiction. Now, the journey of recovery is very, very, very hard. I can tell you that from experience. It's not easy. It requires commitment and support. In my own situation, I had very, very little support from my loved ones. But eventually, I kind of fed on that little support to okay, this is enough for me to go on. If I really want to do this little support that I have and the will to survive is enough for me to go on. And I can tell you that really helps me a lot. A lot of people don't have that level of support. A lot of people don't even have support at all. But I feel like if you are committed to recovery, if you are committed to staying away from that substance, alcohol, marijuana, whatever it is that, gives you that edge and destroys you internally without you realizing it. If you're committed to recovery, my brother, trust me, it's not going to be easy, but it is possible. It is doable. And I'm a living testimony. Also, addiction often has this deep-rooted psychological cause. There's always something that triggers it. There's always something deep. In my case, it was a trauma that wasn't treated, and it was surmounted by another trauma that was then, surmounted by another trauma. And I just kind of took everything and rolled it up into a ball and fed on it, and then used substance abuse to okay, I'll use the substance abuse to cope with this trauma. But eventually, it took me realizing that, okay, the cause of the substance abuse is not actually treating the trauma. I actually have to address the trauma head on, take care of my mind before I can then root out, the craving for that, substance. And breaking the cycle of addiction has this very serious impact on mental health that if you're not careful, if you don't take it easy on yourself, it could break you. So it's challenging, but it's an achievable journey. And let me help with some of the rundown of the steps that, I personally took that helped me get out of, my problems. Number one is acknowledgement of the problem. I've said it before. Once you acknowledge that you have a problem, you know that you have a problem, your problem is half solved. When you don't see the problem, is when you are in deep trouble. But the moment you see the problem, you know that there's a problem there, you can tell that something is wrong, then the solution is half a click away. That's number one. Recognize that there is a problem and that substance use is negatively affecting you, whether you like it or not. If you like only cruise, you like only high, only enjoyment, my brother, it is effing you up seriously. You may not realize it now. It may take you time to realize it, but I can guarantee you it's not doing you any good. And I'm telling you that from experience. It is not doing you any good. Now, number two is seek professional help. In my own case, I didn't have the opportunity or the resources to seek professional help. I had to work on myself. I had to tell myself, I had to sit myself down and tell myself, Onola, if you know that you are ready to die, continue. But if you know you want to live, you want to thrive, you want to survive, you need to work on this. And a whole lot of other things, the determination, the commitments, the support I had, the sacrifices that I made, the things that I had to do personally to tell myself that and to ensure that I am not going back to this substance. Those were some of the things that helped me get out. So acknowledgement, seeking professional help, and building a support network. I didn't have a support network, but I could have used a support network. Most of the people that, let me not say most, some of the people that, actually worsened the journey for me were people who were around me, who were also involved in substance abuse. And they didn't know they were not helping me because they were just doing their own thing, doing their own thing for themselves. But me being around them worsened my issue because I'm like, see that guy now, they do a man, they okay. You think come be my own, I beg. But, if I was in an environment where people were consciously avoiding these things and they were working on it, I think that would have helped me better. So I feel like a support network of people who are, who have either recovered or who are in the process of recovery will help you. However, take note, if you're trying to recover and you find someone who is also trying to recover, the two of you have to kind of like support each other and make sure that one person is not dragging the other person back. It's very, very important because you can do that without being aware, drag the other person back because you feel like this person is my support. I see this person still they do it now. Maybe me said, I try one. So another thing is developing healthy coping mechanisms. Some of the coping mechanisms that I employed, I wouldn't say were particularly healthy, but I would say they worked out. One of them was working myself out excessively. Because anytime I, turned to my substance, I always felt mentally and physically dormant. Like I'll just lay there and just chill and just sleep and just eat, sleep, not do anything, just lay around like a vegetable. And I decided that, okay, I think one of the ways to fight it is to fight it through the symptoms. So I stopped using it and then I started working out. Like I would literally run till my body gave up. I'll just tell myself that today I'm going to run up until the point where my body can't move again. And then I'll lay down there, recover for some minutes, and walk back home. So, and sometimes, maybe if you know me from somewhere and you see me walking on the street like I'm about to die, I just excessively run my blood and my body out. So, some of the coping mechanisms that, you need to turn to is like journaling, writing them down, doing some exercising, and I think as little as deep breaths, just breathing can actually help you, just taking a deep breath, like shutting out all the noise and the craving and just taking a deep breath can actually help. It may not be sustainable, but it could, take you through that particular moment. So another thing is addressing the underlying issues. I've said this before. Now, what is causing you? What is that thing that keeps triggering you to go and mess with this substance? You need to find it out and root it out. It's as simple as that. Now, I think the most important thing, the one that sealed the deal for me, was creating a relapse prevention plan. Because I noticed that every time I get on the journey of recovery, okay, I'm not going to abuse this again, I get triggered. Maybe like 3 months down the line, I'll get triggered and then I'll go back. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? So what I did was I created a plan. I did something. I'm not going to go into the details because it's quite personal. I did something. I told myself, I want to be this thing. And abusing this substance keeps me away from being this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the process of being this thing, and I'm going to stop smoking at the same time. However, whenever I go back to smoking, I am not going to be this thing anymore. So I told myself, I put that system in place, and it has helped me so far, because being this thing that I told myself I want to be is more important than my abuse of substance. It's more important than whatever high I get from smoking. So I decided, okay, fine. If I want to be this thing, if I want to be this kind of person, if I want to be this person, if I want to be here mentally, physically, spiritually, I cannot be on this substance. And so far, that has helped me. That has been my relapse prevention plan, because I know within myself that the day I go back to smoking, I'm never going to be that thing again. And I feel like if you look deep, you can find something that helps you see and create a prevention plan that, okay, you know that, no, creating something, if you look within you, creating something that, you know, that is personal or maybe spiritual, kind of, can keep you away. You know that, okay, this thing, once I go back to my substance, this thing is I'm no longer viable, or I'm no longer worthy of this thing. That's I think is one of the things why they designed the coin system in Alcoholics Anonymous, or whatever they call it. In that recovery system, they give you a coin and you get a badge for every day you don't drink. Now, the day you drink, you have to turn in your badge to your sponsor, because you're no longer worthy of that badge. You've relapsed. So I feel like that's like a relapse prevention plan that can help. So you need to find a relapse prevention plan that can help you identify the triggers and the situations that leads up to this relapse, and then develop strategies to manage and avoid them. You also need to have a plan in place that helps you respond effectively to challenging situations. So there's been times I felt like bombing a smoke, like she needs just one smoke. And then I tell myself, like, nah, it's not just one smoke. Once I take that one, I'll take another one, I'll take another one, I'll take another one, I'll take another one. Before you know it, I've gone back to it. So you need to have and one of the plans that helped me was reminding myself what I wanted to be, reminding myself the harmful effect it had on my health, reminding myself what I envision my future to be, what I want to, when I'm 60, do I want to look all raggedy and shrunken up, or do I still want to be fit and healthy? Those are some of the things that I did that helped me, or that's been helping me so far. So having a plan that helps you effectively challenge your triggers and situations. Now, moving on, you need to make lifestyle changes. Are you the kind that sits around a lot and doesn't do anything, which then leads you to craving alcohol or cigarettes or marijuana? You need to make lifestyle changes. You need to adopt a healthier lifestyle by focusing on your nutrition. I found out that the things that I took in can sometimes be the trigger. Am I taking a lot of energy drinks that has nicotine? It's part of it. Am I taking a lot of food substances that, you know, that makes me want to like go back to smoking? Sometimes I feel like those things need to be addressed. I also need to eat healthy. It is important to eat healthy, exercise, and get adequate sleep. Sleep is also important in your life, my brother. You need to engage in positive activities. Find activities that brings you joy, purpose, a sense of accomplishment, and it redirects your energy and your thoughts away from that substance into something that is more fulfilling in your brain. You need to stay accountable to yourself. It's also very important. There's lots of times that I lost accountability, but I feel like there were also times where I've been able to, like, you know, tell myself that, okay, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I didn't have a support group. It's easier when you have a support group that you can stay accountable to. But, you know, it wasn't there for me, but I had to be accountable to myself. So being accountable to yourself I feel like, is the best type of accountability that you can ever experience or practice. You also need to practice patience and self-compassion. You need to be patient to yourself. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. You need to understand that you're another human being who is trying to survive. Everybody out there is trying to survive. You need to understand that you too are trying to survive. So don't be too hard on yourself. Going too hard on yourself is only going to overwhelm you, so to speak. So you need to be patient and kind to yourself. I've said this in like 2 episodes now. This is like the 3rd time. Bro, you need to be kind to yourself. The world isn't fair. The world isn't nice. But it's worse when you don't love yourself. It's worse when you're not kind to yourself. Also, you need to avoid high-risk situations. What are high-risk situations? Okay, so you know that if you go to this club, you are likely going to get drunk, and you're an alcoholic. My brother, stay away from the club. Stay away. And if you must go, or if you find that if you just want to go, you can't keep yourself away, find someone who can keep you away from alcohol as much as possible, if that's possible. If you know that you're a smoker, don't go to where they are selling cigar or weed. Or don't go to the company of people who are constantly smoking. Or don't go to places where you're going to smell it and you're going to get triggered. Avoid those kind of situations. It will help you a lot. You need to celebrate your milestones. At first, I started at 10 days without smoking, 1 month without smoking, 3 months without smoking, 9 months without smoking, 1 year without smoking, 2 years without smoking. And it's not been easy, but I feel like getting those milestones have helped me, because now I know that, okay, I'm so time away from smoking. I'm so time away from drinking. I'm so time away from substance abuse. I've gone 365 days without using this substance. Wow, I don't try. Coming from someone who can smoke 10 sticks in a day. You also need to continue learning and growing. I feel like that's like the most important, one of the important mantras of this world. Learn, grow, learn, grow, learn, grow. You can't stop learning until the day you die. I've said it before. You can't stop learning until the day you die. And the more you learn, the more you grow. It's as simple as that. So you need to learn more about yourself and how best you can help yourself survive, and just keep going. Breaking the cycle of addiction is tough. Breaking that cycle of addiction and improving your mental health is not easy. It requires patience, commitment, a wholesome approach to treatment, like a holistic approach to treatment. And I think it's very, very important to remember that seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It is actually a sign of strength. The fact that you know that you have a problem and you decided to sort out the solution and you go and look for help, my brother, you are strong. Don't let anybody tell you that going to ask for help is a sign of weakness. It is not. The weakness is actually suffering in silence and taking it all alone and not, doing the appropriate thing. So it is very important to be kind to yourself, be patient, and understand that it's a process. It's not a one-day thing. I had a friend that I told once that I stopped smoking, and it was like, just like that. And I'm like, yes, not. And this guy's my brother, and he told me the truth straight up. He said, "Now, lie, my guy. You go still smoke. They know they just quit like that. They just stop like that. Cold turkey. You're still going to smoke." And I'm like, "No, I've quit." And I kid you not, this guy was right. I think about a couple of weeks later, I actually went back to smoking. And it was because I didn't understand at that point that it's a procedure. It's step by step. At first, I started by telling myself I needed to stop, reducing how much I took in, avoiding high-risk situations. It's a whole lot of work. It's not easy, but it is achievable. So, thank you very much once again for bearing with me through this episode of substance abuse and addiction. Next episode, we're going to address recovery steps. So how do you, now you've fought your addiction, you now know you have a problem and you're avoiding it. How do you stay in recovery, and what do you do after recovery? That's what we'll be talking about on the next episode. So don't forget, leave a comment below. Tell us one thing that you've been fighting with, or how you've been able to survive your addiction. What are the steps that you took? help a brother out. Someone in the comments, someone watching this video might just need that little comment of yours. Like this video by giving it a thumbs up, help the algorithm pick it up so that other people can find it, and it can potentially help people who are out there that need it. And thank you once again if you've subscribed. If you have not subscribed, you know what to do. You see that little logo icon just right there, the Brothers Keeper logo. Just touch it and click that red button, subscribe. And that's it. It's free of charge. I'm not charging you money. YouTube is not collecting money. Just subscribe. Once you do that, you get a notification when next I upload a video. And that way you become a part of the community of men who are trying to get better. Thank you very much for doing this once again. I'll see you on the very next episode. Remember, your peace, your progress, and prosperity, they are priority in your life. And don't forget, you're not alone. My name is Onola Fatoba, and I remain my brother's keeper until the day I die. See you on the next one.